All right, y'all. I am sharing my foam rolling and full body mobility warm up with you guys in this video. It's going to be a 13-minute video, first one of its kind from me. All right, so number one, we foam roll. As you can see here, I started around just below my shoulder blades and I'm rolling my upper back out, leaning to one side a little bit. And when you roll, always consider that you want to relax and breathe into the foam roller. You don't want to tighten up, right? So I do the upper back, and in this video I spend about 30 seconds on each area, but I want you to try to spend at least 60 seconds on each area. So this second one right here, I'm doing the lats. The lats are super important. Just in terms of shoulder health, in terms of how that upper body is feeling, the lats often get neglected. So right here, you can see I've pinpointed an area where I felt like I needed a bit more love, and I was moving my arm. So let me show you the demo on this side. So I call this scanning and pinpointing. So right now I'm scanning the lat, seeing if there are any areas that are especially a little more tender than other areas. So I'm scanning real quick, and then here I found a spot. I'm going to pinpoint that area, bring my hips back down, try to put as much weight as I can into it. And of course, always breathing, always relaxing the face. So you don't always have to foam roll certain areas. Certain areas are you don't always have to roll around. Certain areas are smaller, like the lats. So I'm going to pin a certain spot in, and I will introduce movement with my arm. And this will change the way it feels, right? So big fan of foam rolling and only spending 60 seconds on each area. Right here you can see I'm doing the quads with the long foam roller. You can do both quads at the same time. I go from the top of my knee right to the hip area. And the benefits of foam rolling, I get this question a lot. Really, for me, I use it to get blood flowing, just to get the blood flowing, get the fluids moving in there, and then ultimately just hydrating the tissues by getting all the fluids, all the blood moving, right? So for me, this is just another way to create awareness of how the body feels today, because the body doesn't feel the same every single time, right? So right here, I'm doing one quad at a time now. That inner thigh, that VMO, right into that adductor. This one is dirty. I actually usually avoid this one because it sucks so much, but here I am. So again, I like to use the foam roller to bring awareness to how my body's feeling today. Because sometimes you roll onto a spot and you're like, whoa, why is that so much more tender than it was the other day? What did I do that made it feel like this, right? And then last area I do, the calves. So I'm going to start around my Achilles and work my way just below the knee. And as you can see here, I've placed my top leg on top here to give it a bit of extra weight. If this is the first time you're doing these, it's probably going to hurt a little bit. Again, relax the face, try to breathe through it. So you see here, I've pinpointed a certain area, and now I'm introducing movement by moving my leg side to side. Trust me, this one is dirty. All right, same thing on the other side. And as I was saying, with all of this mobility, all of this warm-up stuff, we're just gathering information on how the body feels. Because the body's telling you, if it's super tender in certain areas, the body's telling you something. Like, okay, maybe you need to give this area a bit more attention, a bit more time, a bit more love. All right? So this is the foam rolling, upper back, lats, quads, calves. No need to spend too much time in one area. Definitely doing these more frequently will help. Let's move into our mobility portion. I'm going to take a bit more time here. So this is the side lying windmill. Amazing move. This has quickly become one of my top 5 moves. So this is just to open up that upper mid back, which is also called the thoracic spine. So when you do mobility work, all we're doing is creating space in the body so that things can move a little bit better, right? You know, that feeling of tightness, that feeling of stiffness. You just need to do a little foam rolling, a little bit of mobility, get the blood going, get the fluids going, and then opening it up, creating space in the body. So here, how do you set this up? You lay on your shoulder, on your side, bottom leg is straight, top knee is going to stay on the ground here. That's going to prevent you from twisting through the low back because we're trying to target that upper mid back area. So as you can see, I'm following my arm with my eyes. And as always, I'm going to say this a million times this video. Make sure you're breathing, okay? Deep inhales, deep exhales. It just makes the mobility stuff that much more effective when you're breathing deeply and breathing well. So that's the first one right there. Upper mid back, get that T-spine rotation in. And now we're going to move into some cat-cows. So I'm going to inhale when I arch out like this. Shoulder blades come down. And then here, exhale, tuck in the pelvis, tuck in the chin. Shoulder blades might open up a little bit. So this is going to be a great way to get some feedback on how the lower back feels, how the mid back, how the upper back feels. So this is great for the whole spine area. And I'm going to roll through 10 reps here. The previous one was 5 reps per side. So this is my top 2 moves for the upper body. We get some T-spine rotation, some extension, and some flexion. Just sip some coffee. If you guys listen to my podcasts, Building Strength podcasts, whoop, you know that I get that coffee in. All right, here we go. Number 3, world's greatest stretch. Setting up in that push-up position. Leg comes out to the side like that. Heel stays down. Think about opening the elbow and opening that up. So now we're getting hips and thoracic spine. Hips, upper body. So we got 2 big ones for the upper body. We got this one, world's greatest stretch. That kind of hits a little bit of both. And then I got 2 more for you for the lower body after this. So big fan of the downward dogs. Big fan of the climbers. And then, of course, throw in some upward dogs here as well. These are great. Inhale, exhale. 5 aside right here. All right. So really, as you can see, just opening things up, creating space through the hips, creating space in the shoulders. Because most of us have shoulder issues. Most of us have low back pain, knee pain. All right, here we go. Here it is, the 90-90. Setting up with my legs in 90-degree angles. Really strong chest, sending my chest to my sternum, to my knee. And as you can see here, so this is a glute stretch right here. And here I'm going to turn towards that back leg. You're going to feel that in that right hip right here. It's nice and dirty. So this is a big one for the hips. Big hip complex right here. Pay attention. Here I'm going to turn back and I'm going to open up that right leg without moving the left leg. So if this is your first time doing this, it's going to be super tough. That leg might not feel like it's moving up very far. So for me, that's why I place my hand behind me and I open that up and just hold right there. Inhale deeply, because this is pretty grueling. I'm keeping a pretty straight face here, but these ones are dirty. You see that middle position? I was just driving both knees down without actually moving. So I'm going to do the same sequence on this side. Glute stretch, stretching out that right outer hip here. You see me scanning side to side, finding those spots because the body tells you. And then here, turning towards that back leg. So I'm targeting the left hip right here. So what I mean when right here, open up, there it is, without moving, right? 2, and then I'll go for a third one. I'll use my hand for support. Right there, hold, breathe, really trying to open that up. And now here, holding in the middle again, really getting that groin. And then now we can go for some reps. Let's go 5 aside here. So I like to do the glute stretch. I like to do the internal hip rotation. Then I'll do some reps for the external hip rotation. And then I'll go for full reps right here. So what I mean when I say things like the body will tell you, like when you do a stretch and it's super tight, it's the body's way of telling you like, dude, this really sucks. I need some love in these areas. All right, last one, number 5. So you see I'm using a plate here. You can use the edge of a bench, curling my toe into it. And now, keeping the heel down, I'm going to push my knee as far forward as I can. Might feel this through the bottom of your feet, your toes, your calves, or the front of your ankle. I'm going to go for 10 reps here, really pushing that range. And then I'm going to move up a little, step forward with my other side, and get a nice calf stretch. All right? Here, 5 deep breaths on the calf stretch, and then I'll do the other side. So that's it. That was my 5-part mobility warm-up. We started with the foam rolling, about 5 minutes for the whole body. And then here, we did full body mobility with 5 of my favorite moves currently. We did the side lying windmill, cat-cow, world's greatest stretch, 90-90s, and now the ankles, calves, big toe. So that's my mobility routine right there. Give it a shot. If it helps you out, please like the video or share the video with a friend who you think would need this. And always, if you guys have any questions about anything, hit me up on Instagram at theodore.lim. Comment below on this YouTube page if you like, or check me out on the Building Strength podcast. Peace.